As somebody who has helped plan coup d'etat, not here, but, other places, it takes a lot of work.
When a former national security advisor openly admits that he helped in planning coups abroad, it's not an offhand comment. It's a testament to the imperialist and interventionist foreign policy of United States. Here are a few coups and regime changes that United States has attempted in the last few decades. In 1953, the CIA helped overthrow Iran's democratically elected Prime Minister Mohammad Mossadegh after he nationalized oil resources. He challenged Western control over Iranian oil, particularly British and US interests. The coup restored the Shah, whose rule relied on repression, torture, and US arms. The Shah can be seen posing with multiple US presidents, from Eisenhower to Nixon, in multiple photos, and was a staunch US ally. In Guatemala, the US orchestrated a coup against President Jacobo Arbenz, who pursued land reforms benefiting poor peasants. These reforms threatened the profits of the US-based United Fruit Company. The coup triggered a 36-year civil war that killed and disappeared over 2 lakh people. Patrice Lumumba was Congo's first democratically elected prime minister after independence from Belgium. He was a fierce critique of colonial exploitation and refused to align with Western Cold War interests. The US supported efforts to remove him, fearing his anti-imperialist stance. Lumumba was assassinated in 1961, plunging Congo into decades of instability. The US backed a military coup against President João Goulart, who advocated labor rights and social reforms in Brazil. Washington viewed him as a leftist threat during the Cold War. The coup ushered in 21 years of military dictatorship marked by torture and censorship. Declassified documents confirm US diplomatic and logistical support for the coup. President Salvador Allende was democratically elected on a socialist platform in Chile. The US actively worked to destabilize his government through economic pressure and covert operations. After the coup, neoliberal economic policies were aggressively introduced under dictator Pinochet, who was a US ally. In Haiti, President Aristide was twice removed from power with US involvement. Both removals followed his efforts to raise minimum wages and challenge elite interests. Each intervention weakened Haiti's democratic institutions, and the country has remained politically fragile ever since, thanks to US interventions. The US invaded Iraq claiming weapons of mass destruction, a justification that was later proven false. The invasion dismantled Iraq's state institutions and fueled sectarian violence, leading to ouster of Saddam Hussein. Similarly, in 2011, NATO intervened in Libya under the banner of civilian protection. The mission rapidly turned into regime change, ending with Muammar Gaddafi's killing. State institutions collapsed and armed militias filled the vacuum. Libya has remained fragmented and unstable since the NATO invasion. Lastly, in Venezuela, the US supported a failed coup against Hugo Chavez in 2002. It later backed parallel governments and imposed sweeping sanctions on Venezuela. These actions worsened economic conditions and humanitarian stress. Venezuela continues to be a focal point of US regime change efforts, with the kidnapping of President Maduro a latest development. According to a Washington Post analysis, the United States attempted to change other countries' governments at least 72 times during the Cold War alone, all blatant violations of international law. But looks like we live in a world where regime change is condemned unless Washington is the one carrying it out.